this, let's say, the strain comes into India, if we are very vigilant in terms of physical distancing, wearing a mask, and avoiding crowded areas, then we will not allow it to spread in our community, and that would help in containing the number of cases that may happen because of this virus, which spreads very quickly. I think we need to be careful because we are in a very good situation right now as compared to many parts of the world. Our cases have come down. We are seeing a good downward trend and a recovery rate is very good. Mortality also is low. So we really don't want that we should have a resurgence of cases because of this new strain. However, whatever data we've got from in UK and especially from London and South East London, England, suggests that this virus, this mutant, is more infectious, but it doesn't lead to more hospitalization or increased mortality. Therefore, I think we need to be more vigilant in terms of COVID appropriate behavior. So I think it's very important for us to understand that although we are calling this a new strain or a variant, this is one of ongoing mutations that viruses continue to have. Even this virus has had many mutations, almost on an average of 2 per month, and therefore mutations are continuing. But at the same time, the symptoms have continued to be the same, the treatment strategy will continue to be the same, and as per the current data, the vaccine should also be effective. This is something which happens. We're in a lucky position that it's unlikely to happen with COVID-19 or with the coronavirus. But if I give you a sort of a corollary of influenza virus tends to also mutate very regularly, unlike coronavirus, which mutates much more slowly. And that's why for influenza we have an annual vaccine, because the virus has mutated significantly every year and we need to have a new vaccine. Also, what was happening in the past was we were giving a trivalent vaccine, which is covering 3 strains, 2 influenza A and 1 influenza B strain. Few years ago, the surveillance data showed that another B strain was also circulating in the world, and this led to a quadrivalent vaccine, which is what we're giving right now. So vaccines will evolve as the virus also evolves, and therefore this is an ongoing process. So it's most of the vaccine manufacturers can tweak the vaccine so that it becomes effective if there is a major change in the virus. Currently in COVID-19, there doesn't seem to be a major change. So as of now, I don't think we need to really look at a major vaccine change. What will really determine this is how the cases pan out in the coming days. If we find that the cases continue to decline and we are in a good position, we really don't need to panic and we don't need to get a graded response. If we have areas where there is a certain spurt of cases and we suddenly find that we are having an area where there is a spike in the number of cases, we will work on a strategy that we already have in place in terms of containment zones, tracking, testing and tracing individuals, and at the same time having strict containment measures. So there are 2 parts in this thing. One is, when will we be able to get the vaccine cleared, regulatory approvals, when will they come? And second is, when will we be able to roll out the vaccine so that people can get it? So the first part, we will have to get enough data, the vaccine manufacturers will have to give sufficient data to the regulators so that they are satisfied about 2 things. One is that this vaccine is absolutely safe, and secondly that it is efficacious. I think that data is being collated, and also as far as the Serum Institute vaccine is concerned, there is a large body of data from AstraZeneca which will also be available. So I'm hopeful that regulatory approval will occur sometime at the end of this year or early next year. And then once that is done, then we have the second part of when do we roll out the vaccine. In a phase, that is going to happen in a phased manner. The early part, which is the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, in a phased manner will get done in the first few months. but subsequently the other groups will follow, and this will take at least 6 to 8 months to really say that everyone will get vaccinated, at least in the priority list that we have. There are two parts that we need to achieve as far as the vaccine is concerned. The first part is we need to decrease mortality. Number of people who are dying because of COVID-19 needs to come down, and therefore we have to vaccinate all the high risk group, the elderly, those with comorbidities. So they become one priority. Second is the healthcare workers, the frontline workers who are getting exposed and are getting the infection. Once we start doing that, we will also have to see now, do we have a sufficient mass of people whom we have vaccinated who have now been able to break the chain of transmission? Because remember, we will have vaccinated a sufficient mass of people, and many of our citizens would have already got the infection and recovered and will have immunity on their own. So once we are able to say that we have reached so-called herd immunity, then we will not need to be that aggressive in vaccinating everyone.